We're putting together a special on the Angels. Can you tell me why you like them?
It's good music, you can dance to it and that. Good stuff. Oh, it's really good. I don't know how to explain it really. They just got good to listen to. Lead singer's really spunky too. I like the way they act, and especially Kate Jackson. Oh, because I like the personalities.
Actually, we're putting together a special on the Angels, and we just wanted to know, what do you like about them?
It's really unreal. I like Farrah Fawcett. She's really spunky.
You like Farrah Fawcett?
Yeah.
There are people who think they're a rock and roll band.
What the one she left?
Probably didn't like playing the drums. Hi, guys. Hi. Five at once.
There's the Angels.
The Angels. You want to go around the room and tell us who you are? Starting with Chris.
Yes, I'm Chris. I'm the bass player.
We rehearsed this, actually.
Yeah, and I'm Buzz and I'm the drummer.
Yeah, I'm Rick. Rick, lead guitar and piano.
I'm Doc, and I sing.
I'm John, and I play the rhythm guitar.
We were a jug band for about 3.5 years, and then changed to an electric band.
We're going to talk about your album track by track here, the new album, and side one, track one's a good place to start.
Begin at the beginning.
On Take Me Home, it's got a bit of a feel about living in the city, had enough of the city sort of feel.
Cities. Do we like the cities?
Is Adelaide that kind of a city? Like, is that right?
Adelaide's very quiet compared to...
No, that was written in Sydney, that one.
Yeah, Sydney's
When it
close.
comes to cities, I'd like to live in the country and come in every day by helicopter. That's my idea.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
This first album is just one style, which the band can do and does do on stage. And the first album is sounds pretty much the same way we sound on stage. But what we could do in a studio for second or third or fourth albums or whatever, man, that could go anywhere, because there's elements of funk in the band now, probably due to Buzz and myself.
Twisted lads.
Which is, it's
That's cool, that's not...
And sort of Doc is fairly romantic with the lyrics and melodies and things, and John is very almost sort of ballad orientated, and Rick is well, he's the icing on the cake, I suppose. Yeah. The lead guitar player and the piano player.
That second track, You're a Lady Now, so your new single, it's kind of the best label I could put on. I know it's a bad habit putting labels on things. Is the Kinks, kind of a Kinks style about it? Would that be
You're
right?
not the first to say that. It's amazing, yeah.
You can't pick it.
We've never...
Well, we never really
thought
sat
of
down
it.
and listened to the Kinks and said we
Never
were going to try and
thought
do
of it,
something like that.
No one's ever drawn any connotations with the Kinks before, but in the last about 3 weeks, untold people have.
Well, let's talk about George and Harry. A lot has been said about Vander and Young, of course. We won't go into it too heavily, but what difference have they, or what influences, what can they teach a good young rock and roll band like yourselves from Adelaide?
Well,
How to play like a good rock and roll band.
the thing is that we're 5 guys that are all into songwriting, and we've all got different influences, and we could go very easily into very sectionalised directions. We could all go different ways, but they sort of have a way of kind of bringing us all together.
What are the recording sessions like? They always get a good sort of a high energy sort of sound out of anybody they record. Are they pretty intense sort of sessions?
That's it, high energy.
High energy.
Because
What does that involve?
Just making you realise that you've got to put a bit of life into it rather than just sit down and
But they don't
play.
push. They don't push at all. They just...
No, they get you to push.
the thing is that a band can come into a studio with about 20 different ideas about a way they want to do the song. And George and Harry can listen to the band once, and they know which way the band can do it best.
There's one track on the album that I noticed you all didn't write, and you're also prolific at songwriting, that the name Don Nix stands out there in this one song, Going Down. Why did he make the Hallowed album there? Why was he the one?
We got onto the song before we got onto Don Nix, really. A guy in Adelaide played us a song once, and we learned it from him.
But nothing happened until we heard it on the radio. We were on our way to a gig somewhere.
Doyle's.
Yeah, and we were all locked in a car, cigarette fumes and whatever.
That's right.
And this song came on the radio. It was just too much, so we thought we'd throw it in.
It's a really
Played
strong
it for a
stage
while.
number 2. It's good to play on stage.
It's just good fun, yeah.
Your sound to me is, and you should describe it better, but it's quite unique in that it's like country and bluesy, but it's still quite electric. Like Like 90% sort of electric, isn't it?
Yeah, well, a song like "Shelter from the Rain" it's almost a ballad that you can imagine quite easily. You can imagine strings and acoustic guitars and all sorts of things. But we've just done it as a rock and roll band.
The final track on side one is "Can't Get Lucky." There's a little bit of a Rolling Stones-y sort of a sound about it. Wouldn't that be right?
No, it's actually more an Idi Amin sound.
An Idi Amin sound.
Well,
Ugandan rock.
yeah,
Why is that?
West Coast bebop. It was sort of just our little effort towards what he's doing for peace of mind in the world today.
Must have another listen to that.
What is he doing?
Well, actually,
doing?
it wasn't written with that in mind, but it fits pretty well.
Yeah.
No, it's actually written about a young gent who went to primary school at the age of 5, went to high school about the age of 11, left that and joined a fairly well-established bank at the age of 19, got married at 24, got divorced at 27.
We've turned the album over and we're on to side two, track 1, and it's the hit, which is what was the album it appeared on? The Ripper or Scorcher or one of those?
It was on Rocker.
Rocker.
It's a medley of our hit.
I think you get more exposure through those albums than anything else, don't you? I mean, they come up on TV every night.
We're trying to get a contract with KHL.
Oh, yeah. When we used to play it on the air, I used to listen to that line, went down to Santa Fe where Renoir paints the wall. What is that? I've got you now. What is it? Should I?
That's Doc's line.
Is that graffiti or something we're talking about there?
Well, yeah, whatever. Just this little guy down there just hanging out.
Good boogie number, and When I've Caught You, which is a little while ago, that was really going down well on stage.
Yeah, it still does go down pretty well on stage. So.
The album version's a little bit slower than the single.
That's because you play
a bit of a different
33.
feel. Oh no, we just go to a different feel with it.
How about You Got Me Running? Want to talk about that?
We use that quite often as an opener on stage. It gets a nice suspense feel going.
It's got a great bass start.
Oh yeah, this next track starts out with you, John, playing a harp, right?
Yeah, High and You.
Yeah, right. And I was just going to mention you studied filmmaking, got to do a bit of movie making there for a while.
Yeah.
I read in your bio if you weren't doing a rock and roll band, you'd be making a few movies now.
Oh well, yeah. I did filmmaking at Flinders Uni. Did a few things with a guy called Aggie Reid, who's a reasonably well-known Sydney filmmaker. But I didn't get that far into it because I dropped out of uni because of the band.
And Rick, you've actually got a degree, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, tell us about it. I mean, how many people in rock and roll bands have got degrees?
Hang on, what was it? Agricultural science.
Yeah.
Science.
Well, isn't that important?
Doc's got one too. He's a master of drama or something.
Are you?
It's just a sign of affluence, really. Sometimes most rock and roll bands will have degrees in nuclear physics sooner than later.
No, it was something.
Laser
It was something I started, and
Yes, you're going to try here.
by the time I'd got three years through it, I wanted to finish it, and I was glad I did because the last year was the only year I enjoyed. That was when I got into collecting insects.
And what can that lead to if ever you drop out of the rock and roll scene?
Not a lot. See, I gave it a lot of serious thought actually at the time. I would have liked to have found a job where I could travel the country or travel the world really collecting insects, but there's no one who's going to pay you to do that.
This is the part of the radio special where we all should clap and sing along with this track, I guess, right?
Yeah.
We should all get off our chairs now.
Definitely the drunk track of the album.
This special will be heard by a lot of people that don't get to hear you normally, or don't get to see you in a lot of especially the country markets around the place.
Well, folks.
Right. Tell us what the Angels are like live, from your end. I mean, you see it from close up. What's the set involved? Leaping on stage in a glitter outfit and confetti flying everywhere. Tell us what it's all about.
Quite the opposite to that, really.
We went through all those stages, although in this band it was good because we'd gone through all those stages in about 6 weeks where we thought about what we should wear and what we should do in order to attract attention, And finally we canned the whole lot, because it's all bull that stuff. All we want to do is play hot music.
Buzz, how would you describe
Energy.
Well, to lead into Dream Builder, and on the subject of dreams, have all your dreams come true? Sort of, you've got a recording contract. You're becoming a national sort of a name entity now. Is that it? I mean, what do you do here? Obviously, you'll be looking forward to your second album now. I suppose the first one's finished.
Yeah, very much.
That's something we'll probably be getting back in the studio towards the end of the year.
Yeah, we're not trying to really push ourselves onto the scene. We're you know.
It's not something that we care to get involved with, you know, the pushing or the pulling. It's just, we're just more into making the music. And we try and make it as good as possible, you know, so that as many people as possible will like it.